Hi, this is Joel Crandall with the Voila Method. Today I want to talk about the gap where change actually happens. Between every input and every response, there is a moment, a gap. It's subtle, almost invisible, but it may be the most important space in the entire mind body system. There is a gap between receiving that information and sending out the response. So, between the input and the output, between the stimulus and the action, this gap is where present exists. It's where the processing happens. It's where consciousness lives. When the body receives sensory input, it doesn't respond in isolation. It filters that information through past experiences, stored memories, and learned patterns. Sometimes this response is appropriate, but sometimes it's biased and shaped by our past than by what is actually happening right now. This is why two people can experience the same input and respond completely differently. Because the response isn't just about the input, it's about what the system believes that the input means. So the sensation is not just received, it's interpreted. So if the response is shaped by input and that interpretation of that input, then one of the most direct ways to create change is to change the sensory input, change the response. This is where the Voila method operates. Voila method works within that gap, bringing a new and precise experience to that mind-body system before it has time to fall back into old patterns. So it's not forcing a change, it's introducing new information at the exact moment that the system is deciding how to respond. So we have this really cool thing in our body called kinesthesia. It's the body already knows. Kinesia. The kinesia is the awareness of the position, movement, and joint orientation. It always knows where the joints are, what their orientation is, and what they should be while we're moving. It always knows the tonal position of your structure. This is why the joint sets the tone, or bone structure dictates muscle function or fascial function. Right? Muscles don't create the problem. They respond to the position and the information coming from the structure. So don't shoot the messenger. Pain, tension, and sensory feedback are not the problem. They are the message. When practitioners work directly on sensory receptors or chase symptoms, often trying to override the message, telling the system, you're wrong. But the receptors aren't wrong. They're reporting what they detect. So trying to reset the receptor without changing the underlying cause often leads to just temporary relief, recurring problems, and clients returning with the same issue week after week or month after month. It's because the system hasn't actually been changed. Only the signal has been dampened. So make the receptor happy. Instead of silencing the messenger, change what it's reporting. When the joint structure is restored and the system receives accurate information, the receptors no longer need to send a distress signal. The body doesn't need to compensate. It doesn't need to guard. And it doesn't need to repeat the pattern. It simply reorganizes. And I just love watching that happen during a session. The voila difference with voila is working in that gap between the input and the response, where change happens instantly. By producing the right information at the right moment, the system updates itself. This is why you don't need queuing. There's no force, there's no override, there's no chasing symptoms. It's just a new experience and a new outcome. If you'd like more information about this, please like and subscribe. I'm Joel Crandall, the creator, developer of the Voila Method. So you can visit us at YouTube, Instagram, at the Voila Method, or you can also check us out on our website, www.voilamethod.com. Look forward to seeing you soon.